This is Jay. How can we help?
Yes, I asked if you could hold a moment, and you said your name. You repeated your name, and you said Jay from T-Mobile.
My Yes, Metro by T-Mobile.
Do you have an employee ID?
Yes, ma'am. Why?
I just would like to know it.
Yes, ma'am. I am legit from Metro by T-Mobile. How can I help you?
That's a red flag. I'm asking for your employee ID.
I'm sorry, but we're not allowed to give your we're not allowed to give my employee ID.
Okay. My abuser's allowed to hack my devices, and the police department and you guys won't protect me from him hacking it. So if I decide not to
Well,
keep this tablet, if I'm being trapped
uh-huh.
off into him hacking my devices, so if you guys want
Let me
protected,
check. I'm sorry for interrupting you, and sorry for the frustration that you felt right now. Metro doesn't want you to experience that. Since you got me on the line, you don't need to worry. I will help you. Okay? May I know your phone number first?
but can I
Thank you
express
so much.
can I express why I called? So if you refuse to help me, can I get a refund for this tablet? And then I
Okay.
don't want to keep the tablet because no one will protect me from him hacking it, as they haven't done in
May I know
years.
your Okay, let me check on that first. Okay, may I know your name?
Do I need to
Let me
speak with
check
a
that here.
supervisor? Are you going to connect me with a supervisor, or what's happening? Because I did just was trying to communicate. You guys haven't helped me in 10 years, as well as any other
Okay.
provider. So I don't really understand what's happening now. I
Okay.
called to
So since
ask
you're
you.
looking for a
I called to
supervisor,
ask you if
you don't need to
I'm not being heard. I called to ask
uh-huh.
you if I return this tablet, will I get a refund? And then be left? Can I just stop the payments for the tablet and return it and get a refund because you guys refuse to help me flee my abuser and protect me from him hacking my devices, even though I have them with you guys
Uh
as well as any other
Ma'am,
provider.
I'm not
So I'm asking if I can get a
okay.
refund because I've already been through this and
Um
you have never helped in all this time frame.
okay, ma'am, I'm not refusing to help you, but since you're looking for my
Once again,
supervisor,
ma'am.
just give me
Okay,
a
go ahead,
minute.
ma'am. I'll entertain it. Go ahead, ma'am.
Uh,
Okay, let's go ahead.
I will since ma'am, I'm not refusing to help you, but since you're looking for my supervisor, I will talk to him first, then
I didn't
I
say
will
I was looking
transfer
for
you to
your
him. Okay?
supervisor. I didn't say I was looking for your supervisor. I said that I'll entertain this call. I've already been here and done that. So you said you wanted to help. How are you going to help with this man repeatedly being allowed to hack my devices and railroad my life?
So
However
may
you
I ask
said that you wanted to help, how did you want to help?
when was the first time that you encountered or that you knew that your device is hacked?
I'm not quite sure the relevancy of it, but I did discuss it was 10 years that he's been hacking
Uh-huh.
devices. And I've made multiple different reports and kept switching providers. But since the government was behind it, enforcing crimes, I just stayed, even though I was being violated on your network because I kept switching to get nowhere. And then when I go in person,
Mm-hmm.
my arrests are threatened. But it's so many felonies, they have to enforce crimes on my phone. These people don't want charges for their crimes. But I'm just not quite certain on how are you wasting my time. Exactly how are you planning on helping? Because I'm not quite certain why people here that consistently put their other customers at risk by allowing crooked people to hack networks, and then they try to make it seem like it's impossible to get justice for crimes at multiple different locations. But I'm not quite sure on how you're saying that you're going to help.
Okay. Ma'am, this is gonna be happen. Okay. As you mentioned earlier that you want to refund the device.
You did
If
say that you wanted to
you can.
help. Now we're deflecting. I said that I'll entertain it. So you want to help, and now you don't want to help, and you want to talk about the refund.
No, ma'am. I'm just asking you. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
So if
because, ma'am,
you
upon
said that you
checking,
wanted to
yes.
help, how did you want to help? I just assumed since you hadn't done it in
Yes.
10 years that it wasn't going to happen. That was my assumption. So what are you going to do to
Okay.
help?
That
I mean, I know what normal customers would experience, but I know what I experience. Normal customers, there
Okay,
would be
ma'am,
a
this is gonna
technical
be happen.
ticket and they would investigate crimes being committed on the network, but I'm not a normal customer. So, what is your plan for someone hacking your network, putting myself as well as other customers at risk?
Okay, ma'am, I have some questions for you. Okay, because I just want you to. How can I help you if the customer service didn't know what happened? Okay, can you elaborate me? When was the first
Mind
time did
games.
it happen for me able to help you? Okay.
I expressed already that it was 10 years that it's been going on.
Uh huh. 10 years.
Yes.
10 years that someone hacking your network. Is that what you mean?
Yes. Calls go off. I can't make
And
calls. Text goes off. Data goes off. I can't use my devices. I get put on the punishment when my abuser's mad. Text the people that when I'm going out with them, they don't get my text properly. I can't make calls on a whim. When I have things planned, someone will shut my phone off. When I'm trying to flee for abuse, the data will get shut off when I'm looking for shelters or trying to flee. And my calls, text repeatedly over and over. Some I do. I have a YouTube channel. Uploads have taken three. Some the most. I did a test. A 1 minute video took 4 hours
okay, just give me a second. I'm here
to
now on the
upload.
backtracking of what happened on your previous reason calls here in Metro. But just give me a while to check. Okay,
I'm
to read
sorry,
this.
ma'am. Can you
Hold on, ma'am.
elaborate on what you're checking? Because I experienced
I'm
this
just
on multiple different
elaborating.
calls.
Okay,
Can you explain to me what you're
okay,
checking?
okay. I'm just checking, ma'am. What are those concerns? I mean, upon checking here on your account, you already called us on April, right? And right now, I am checking the reason behind of those calls, and I just want to validate it.
Okay,
Okay,
so
for me
you
able
have
to help
evidence
you.
that you have reports of me saying that my phone is hacked in your system.
Yes, ma'am.
What did you
Yes,
do with
ma'am.
it?
It says that you're having a problem that
I'm
perhaps
sorry, I'm not. There's a
your
disconnect. What did you do with it? If you have that in your system, what was done?
um these are happen, ma'am. This is the
I'm
records
not
that
being
this is
heard
the
on all these
records.
calls, and I thought hacking a phone was a federal charge, especially when there's been identity theft or thefts, and I have had it. And I don't know why I have been forced to give my personal information. Maybe this is how my people keep getting my number. But I'm not quite certain on why you don't want to
Okay,
answer the question and why you're covering for my devices being hacked as well as everywhere else I call. So I'm just not quite
ma'am,
certain
you
if
don't
you
need to
have it in
worry.
your system, why are you refusing to tell me what you've done with that information as a company?
Ma'am, you don't need to worry about
I,
because
I'm
this
not. I don't know why you want.
information
My
or this
question was,
are
ma'am, if you, I've told you that I've been reporting it for 10 years. So can you explain to me if you
ma'am.
already have a report, why are you refusing to answer me on what was done with it? If you already have something in your
Okay,
system,
ma'am.
what did they do?
Okay, this is gonna be happen, ma'am. Okay, I'm just reading what are those reasons
I
behind
don't
that
know why
you're
you would
calling us
refuse to answer
before.
that question. How far are we going to get if you can't tell me what you have done? If you have evidence
Ma'am,
and information.
how can I answer your question if I'm upon checking here on your account, you have a upon checking here on your account, you are already. I mean, you're not already. You're always calling us because your phone is hacked, right? Or the device that you have is hacked, or the service rather that you have is hacked. For me able to solve your issue, ma'am, I want to know. I want to know everything to give you a
You already have
to
it in your
give you a
system.
good
You said you're not
resolution.
making sense. You're deflecting on the fact of I'm asking what's been done. You just said you saw it in the system. They do this at domestic violence organizations, churches. They want me to repeat myself. Police departments say it's like a mind game that armies full of people like to play. They want me to repeat myself over and over in malice and relive trauma to get nowhere. I'm not really understanding the relevancy if you see it, and I've already expressed why we need to elaborate on what the issues without having a resolution to the issues. What's the purpose of me doing this hour of hours out of a year after year to get nowhere? So that's why I initiated the conversation with asking you the what would happen, because I knew you weren't going to help me if I wanted a refund for this tablet I can barely use. Can you explain to me, why I have been denied access and why you guys refuse to do anything regarding it? Why would you leave me trapped in that, having me pay for services I'm not getting year after year? I don't get my
Did you try
calls
to
at
change your
no
phone number?
provider that I have. I'm making all these calls year after year and no one's calling me back. I asked for a call log one time. They wouldn't give it to me because I wanted people said that they were calling me and I wouldn't answer the phone and I didn't get the call. It just happened the other day. Someone said she called me 7 times and had to text me and let me know. Then my phone goes on to do not disturb on its own, goes off on its own on a whim, and I've been trapped in it.
Okay, ma'am,
Is
this is
that
gonna
like
be happen.
fraud? Is that like fraud to charge me for services repeatedly over and over I can't get?
Okay, ma'am, it's not a fraud.
That
Okay, this is gonna be happen. Okay, if you feel if you feel that somebody's hacking you, if you would you like to change your phone number?
I've changed it, but I asked you what you've done if you saw that it was being hacked. So you're not going to protect me against this man hacking your network, protect yourself as
Ma'am,
well as
ma'am here
me
in
and other customers. You
ma-
guys are refusing to do that.
ma'am here in Metro, ma'am here in Metro, we can't hack the network of our customer. Okay, here in Metro, we protected you. We protected our customer.
You're not
Okay,
doing
not
it because you're not protecting your customers if you're letting him hack your network and won't investigate it and cover for him. You're not protecting yourself.
ma'am.
Your
We can,
customers are me.
ma'am, ma'am. We can't allowing that. We can't allow to to hack our customers' network
That's what you're
because
doing. What did you
I
do
think the
with the
reason,
reports? What are you doing with the reports? What has
I
been
think,
done?
ma'am, upon checking here on your account, the the report that I'm talking about earlier is the notes on your phone. I mean, the notes on
I
this
keep
account
asking
when
you,
you
as
are
well as
calling
every
us.
representative year after year, what has been done. It's not this complicated. I'm just trying to incriminate people at this point. Are you refusing to tell me what's been
Because,
done to protect me and your customers, having me pay off? Don't you think that this
ma'am,
is mandatory,
ma'am,
critical information that's needed? I'm fleeing a domestic abuse crisis that's serious and can't you properly use my device, when will someone have the time to tell me what they're doing regarding that? If I've been going through it 10 years, when do you think I should have be able to get that knowledge on what's been done?
ma'am, this is gonna be happen. Okay, the network hack that we're talking about is not happen here in Metro. So I think the reason, or I think the hack that are you talking
I think
about is
there's
the
a
device
disconnect. You're really
itself.
not making sense, because if you are working for a phone provider, most people, like another lady that says that she had phone issues, they told her about something she can get for her phone, and I don't remember the name of it. I should have wrote it down. But the people that I call cover for it. I'm not quite certain how you got the position working for a phone provider and you don't know that cell phones could be hacked. I don't know
Okay, ma'am,
how
the
you are
reason,
people that I talk to are completely oblivious and unaware that someone can hack phone networks and then leave a person trapped in that nightmare 10 years and then try to gaslight them and tell them it's not happening instead of following policy and protocols year after year. So each
ma'am,
location I'm
here's gonna
calling
be
and I'm
happen.
at, they want to pretend like racked up felonies aren't crimes and aren't really happening, so people can continue to do it year after year. This is why I said, because I knew you were going to cover for the crimes like everybody else I call or come in contact with, that I asked you about. So back to the reality of what will happen with this tablet that I can barely use, because I knew you were going to cover for it, like you guys have been doing years. So back to the tablet I can
Ma'am,
barely use.
hello.
Yeah, I've been trapped in this living hell. So what can I do with this tablet I can barely use?
Okay, ma'am, allow me to talk, okay? The reason why, I think the reason why, here in Metro, ma'am, even in a network, even in other network provider, there's no network hack happen. Okay, I think the reason why you can't use your device for phone calls and mobile internet because there is having a trouble when it comes to the network or seems or you don't have a signal. So that's the reason why you can't communicate to others. But ma'am, the network hack This that happened. I mean, that's the
No,
numbers
at AT
have
and
that
T
you
they
mentioned.
said I'm not quite certain of the you guys' inability. It appears that you're covering for crimes, and that would be a mandatory. That would be very pivotal and very vital to get away with felonies. You have to make sure that party's phone is being hijacked and people don't believe their story because it's too many felonies. But initially, when the police this first started, AT&T said that her phone is repeatedly goes off, and we tried. They lied because I called the police on AT&T, but I didn't know that they were in cahoots. This was new. AT&T said we've tried to get her phone back on, but can't, and she don't want to leave. And it was weird because I called the police on them, but the police department set up AT&T staff to do this concealed crimes. So then they pretended like they told me to leave, and they called the police on me, but I called the police on AT&T for leaving me in my device. It was I was going through this crisis and couldn't make calls. So I'm not. I don't know how to make you guys see reality. So back to what is going to happen with my phone since I can't my tablet since I can't properly use it. Is there a remedy? Can I get a refund? Can we go that way?
Okay. So, ma'am, upon checking here, if you want to have a refund on the tablet, we can do that. Okay, we can do that. So, because you already consumed the data that you have here on your tablet, and also you use the service that you have here in Metro, so that's why we can do the refund. And upon checking, ma'am, your due date is on the 19th of May. So the today is 9th of April,
Hold on one
right?
minute, ma'am. Just one
Um,
minute. Can you hold on a second?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the AT&T incident. So I called the police on AT&T and T, and they're saying that she don't want to leave. I'll put it in the descriptions. So they want me to go to another location where they threatened my arrest. I was on the bus line and couldn't use my phone. And that was the second location that day because the other locations, the police were there waiting. Well, I couldn't record it. And then they gave me a criminal trespass from the AT&T building, but they were there waiting on me, enforcing the crimes with my phone. Since I'm recording it, they had to do it differently because they didn't want anyone to see what they were doing. So then I called the police on this location because they were trying to hide behind the scenes. So I called the police on this location for leaving me and with my phone, not having access to make my phone calls or use my phone, not paying the bill. And then they slander me and saying that I didn't want to leave, and I called the police on them. And then they gave me a criminal trespass at 3 locations that day, and the third location threatened my arrest for trying to use the phone that I was paying the bill on. So, ma'am, what were you saying?
Ma'am, hello.
Yes, what were you saying, ma'am?
Nothing, ma'am. I'm just listening on here.
Okay, you were saying something about my tablet, and when did I? You're saying that I used the services up. This happened with another provider, like 2 or 3 days after I got
Okay.
minutes. 2 or 3 days after I got my data, it would say that I used it up. So I had to get services that were unlimited data because my it was glitching and my data would be used up in 2 or 3 days. So I realized someone was hacking my devices and keeping me from using them properly. So I had made sure that I got unlimited data because I wasn't getting law enforcement to combat the repeated crimes that has been going on year after year. So I deliberately get
Okay, hello,
phone
ma'am.
services with unlimited data because there's all kind of schemes for keeping me from using my devices.
Okay, ma'am, this is gonna be happen. Okay, for further assistance and for further explanation, I will transfer you now to my
Yeah, this is
supervisor.
how
Okay, hold on.
I
Please
tried
hang
to
on
get
the
this
phone.
resolved up front because this has happened years. After if a person gets backed into a corner, they transfer me to a
Yes,
supervisor
ma'am.
for me to get hung up, ma'am. We already went over
No,
this
ma'am.
initially. I said, "Are you going to need to transfer me to a supervisor?" You said, "Do you want to talk to my supervisor?" I said, "No." This repeatedly happens after I tell one party everything. They try to get out of doing anything about the issue and then transfer me to a supervisor to have me start over in malice. We already discussed this, and you said that you could help. So
Okay,
now this
ma'am,
is
I already explaining everything here on my side. But for the further
you.
assistance,
You
I
haven't
will
explained
transfer you to
anything,
him.
ma'am.
Okay.
You haven't explained anything. You're not being honest. What have you explained? We've been on the phone 25 minutes, and what have we addressed?
I already told you, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, my supervisor is waiting for you. Whatever happened, don't hang up the call. Okay, I will
How's your
transfer.
supervisor waiting for you? You mean you haven't had a chance to talk to your supervisor?
Just
How's your supervisor waiting? She hasn't put me on hold to talk to a supervisor. I want to talk to the FBI. I know how to end this whole. So I'm telling them. South Hackett at the TNT headquarters, the police were waiting on me and wouldn't let me get to the cell phone place or report that my network is hacked. They came to intervene. But regardless of what corruption does, I have a cell phone account, and police don't need to prevent someone from trying to have their service that they're paying for. I never got service. I had to go to another provider. They would not let me have my phone. Period. Phone service. I don't know why it's slow like this.
thank you so much for patiently waiting. My name is Daniel, one of the account supervisor here.
Okay.
How can we help?
I'm not quite certain on what's happening because repeatedly, year after year, people are sadistic and the customer service is really poor. So I'm not quite certain on what happened. What did she tell you? You there? You have to find out.
So let me double check on this one. So I want to ask that what do you want to do here? No, ma'am.
I'm just quite not, I don't know what's really happening. What did she tell you? I did customer service work too.
You're having network issue and you mentioned that you are being hacked or something like that.
Okay. Okay, so what do you do? Your supervisor?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what are you going to do?
So regarding about you mentioned that your network is being hacked, we do not see anything or any activity that your network is being hacked here.
I'm just reporting it. I'm not able to properly use my devices. I'm not quite certain on why you have to. So many locations have to do their own investigation without doing an investigation. Like other locations, they said that they don't believe that I'm being violated by the government, so they can't give me resources like the job task requires. I'm not quite certain on
What we can do,
how you could
what
see
we can do here
anything.
is
How would
route
you
you
be
to the
able to see
manufacturer of the
without
phone that you're having
investigating?
problems with,
I'm not
basically, ma'am.
able to communicate from
Because
call. I
we're
think
not
this is
able to
probably
see
a red
anything
flag
or
right here, ma'am, that I
any
am
issue with
being
your
hacked.
network.
Your behavior.
Hmm.
I think
I'm
your
sorry.
behavior is a red flag and you're supposed to be a supervisor. You're not following policy and protocol. I worked for Metro PCS years back when it first
I do
started.
apologize, but
And you're
we don't
not for
see
doing
any
a
activity that
ticket. You're
your
supposed to
account is
be
being
doing a
hacked or
technical
something.
ticket, ma'am. You're not following
Hmm.
policy. You didn't refer it over to technical support for a technical ticket. That's protocol. You didn't do that.
There was a ticket because here there was a ticket number regarding about this one, but there's no need for us to be able to file a ticket because this is regarding about your network. And upon checking on the ticket here, I can also provide you the
She
ticket
just said
number
that
that
there were
was
no, she
filed.
didn't want to answer that. So now
It's,
you've created a ticket? So what's the
I'm sorry.
ticket number? They never gave me. They didn't follow policy and give me a ticket number.
I can provide you the ticket number if you want to. That was filed here, and I can
I'm
also
just
tell you
if
about
you're a
the result of that.
supervisor, I'm not quite certain on why you
Yeah.
won't take evidence that the phone is hacked and you have
But let me read.
representatives
But let
covering
me
for
read
it.
out to you
And
first
your
what the ticket says.
misconduct, if
It
you're a
says here,
supervisor, you don't
no
talk over
trouble or
customers.
no network
That's
trouble
that
found.
you can get rolled up for that. Treating customers
I'm
repeatedly
sorry.
over and over. Yes, I work for Metro PCS. And you can get
I
rolled up.
understand you
You're not
work for
supposed to
Metro
talk over
PCS,
customers, ma'am.
but it stated here that there was no issue with the
You're a
services there.
supervisor and there's
That was stated on the
misconduct. You
ticket.
didn't know that you can get rolled up for your behavior?
Uh huh.
And they didn't follow policy and give me the ticket number or tell me about the ticket. And then I asked her
Then I
what
can provide
happened.
it to you.
I don't
I can
know if you're
provide
a
it to you.
supervisor why you won't hear staff misconduct as well as any other location I call. This is unusual, ma'am. Why would you guys cover for my phone being hacked year after year? So nonetheless, what's the ticket number, ma'am, that has been created to not be held accountable for crime? What's the ticket number, ma'am?
The ticket number that was filed here for you was 881 13129.
Okay, and what's been done with the ticket number?
It stated here that there was no problems with your network. They tried to investigate your phone itself, basically, and the network also as well. If there was anything that has been hacked, so the status of the ticket has been already closed.
Oh, so they investigated my phone and tablet?
Yep. It stated here there's no network trouble found. No network trouble found here.
Oh,
I'm
is
just
there a
reading
particular
about this
reason why they
item
didn't
of
follow
ticket.
policy and didn't call me back to tell me that?
I'm sorry?
Is there a particular
sorry?
reason why they didn't follow policy and call me back?
Normally, regarding about the callback, that's only a 50-50 chance. There's a possibility you might be called or not, but basically they
I'm
would
just
be able
not. Let me make sure I
apply
have a
this
proper
100. The
understanding.
ticket would be
I'm just
resolved
trying to
here.
get clarity,
This
ma'am.
would
You're
just only
still
take
it's
within 72
misconduct on your
hours.
part again. Let me just try to make sure I get clarity. So you put in a technical ticket, and then they hide the results of the ticket. That's not policy, ma'am. When they're doing a technical ticket, they're supposed to call the party and then communicate together to find a resolution to the issue. That's misconduct. Why would they do a ticket and then hide the resolution of the result of the ticket? Technical support didn't call me, and I do have evidence that I'm being hacked, but I'm just not quite certain on why so many people cover for it. If I can't repeatedly use my service, what do you think that is? If I can't get my
Sorry?
calls, someone had to text me and tell me that she was calling me. I wasn't getting my calls.
If
They didn't know that they
your
forgot.
phone,
I'm not able to speak, ma'am.
if your
I'm
phone is
not able to speak.
already
If you're
being
covering for the crimes, ma'am, I'm not able to speak. So someone had to text me. They forgot to disable the texting. So when she had to text me and say, answer your phone, because I wasn't getting my calls. And they forgot to correct that issue. So I got the text and then still couldn't get the call. So I had to call her. But I'm not quite certain on why I keep on reporting this, and you guys are pretending like you're psychic, and you are covering for the fact that someone's been hacking my devices years. So, nonetheless, if you're going to cover for it, like I said, we could have eliminated this 30-minute call because I knew you were going to cover for it. But nonetheless, I can't use this tablet properly. I don't think that I should pay for it because you guys are trapping me along with the police department and being defrauded out of funds, and I've been trapped in it. So I want to let the tablet go. I can't afford to pay for this extra service. I'm already paying for a phone bill and I can't use my tablet properly. I don't think I should pay for it if I can't get the services I'm paying for.
I highly suggest we try to double check this with the manufacturer of the device first, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
We have to double check this with the manufacturer of the device first. I understand that you're not able to receive.
That's not policy, ma'am. You don't check. That doesn't make sense, ma'am. Like I said, I work for Metro PCS, and you don't go and say that because someone, ma'am, you're being rude again. This is misconduct. So if someone is telling you that they can't properly use their service, you don't check with the manufacturer. That's your service that you're providing. You're not making sense, ma'am. You're not providing me the proper service, and you're saying that you have to check with the manufacturer of my device?
We double check. I understand what you're trying to say here, but let me speak first. When it comes to the ticket, there was no network problem found on the ticket that
I don't know why you would lie for my device. I'm telling you that I couldn't get my calls. I don't know why you would lie to cover for it, ma'am. Then you're not following policies.
For the services itself that you're having problems with.
So once again, I'm not able. Someone has said that they called me and I didn't get my calls, and I can tell that my device glitches. I have a YouTube channel exposing all the glitches. And if your behavior is a red flag that something's amiss with my phone calls. So I'm being defrauded out of money, being forced to talk to scammers that have already defrauded me out of funds so the government don't get held accountable for felonies they chose to rack up. I've had to go through this 10 years. Calling all over the United States, and everywhere I call is covering for crimes. I'm being defrauded out of funds. This is criminal to repeatedly do this. You're committing a crime, ma'am, along with the police department. So are you saying that you guys are going to continue to trap me in this nightmare and defraud me out of funds and until someone arrests people for this corruption? Are you saying that I'm trapped in that? And all of a sudden now you can't. It's impossible for you to believe real events that my phone is being hacked, and I'm telling you that someone said I have the text where they said that I call you, answer your phone. So what do you want me to do with that? With someone saying that
I can route you over to the manufacturer of the devices that you have. That's the next thing that we can do here because the ticket has already been resolved, or the issue when it comes to the ticket has already been provided. That there was no network issue.
but if I can't get my calls, and then you are telling me you're lying and saying that I'm telling you I can't get my calls, and then you're telling me I'm not, I am getting them. That's not normal procedure. You investigate and you do something about that party not getting their calls, not tell them there's no problem year after year when clearly there is.
I understand what you're trying to say, but all the troubleshooting stuff has already been done here. If the ticket has been filed, it means all troubleshooting stuff has been done here. The next thing that we need to escalate this is through the manufacturer of the device.
It's not the device, ma'am. The network is being hacked. I'm not being heard.
But it stated here that there's no problem with the network. As I read
out, if I'm not, what is the man? I'm having issues with both my tablets. Both my tablet and
but
these are all the missed
here.
calls.
I can read out to you again to what the ticket was
144
stated here. It says here no trouble with network found.
And then these con artists.
And I can also read the whole notes of the ticket about the
trapping me in this nightmare so they don't get their felonies. Defrauding me out of funds, leaving me trapped in countless felonies. Look at the time. Why would I stage this? So I just had to call her. Right there's when I called. Because I wasn't getting the calls. Okay, ma'am. So what? So you got to check with the manufacturer. Cover for my for the hacker. Okay, ma'am. So whatever you're willing to do, I mean, you've done it for 10 years. So, so what do you?
Regarding about the hacker, do you have to verbalize with me?
So what are you willing to do? Nothing.
I'm going to provide you the number of the manufacturer so we can be able to get the next action item or the next action plan that we have for you, so that we can be able to double check what could possibly be done about the hacker that you have.
Okay, so you want me to call the manufacturer and then see what they can do about someone hacking their device, but it's two different devices, ma'am.
Yes, I can provide you each of the manufacturer of each of the devices there.
Okay, so you want me to call? It's a gang. They're con artists. All locations I call are going to conceal crimes. It's just to distract, deflect, and the run around the hamster wheel. It's a deliberate hamster wheel. It's fun.
Here, mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't think you're not following policy, ma'am. If someone it's a network issue. If someone isn't getting their calls, it's not the manufacturer.
But again, there was no network issue, ma'am, that was stated here under the ticket. So I'm basically.
I'm not able to communicate with you. I can send you an email, ma'am.
As I mentioned, I can read to you.
It'll happen to Kingdom Come. It'll happen to Kingdom Come. All they will do year after year, no matter what you say, is cover for it. No matter where you call on this critical, it is critical once again to hack these devices. Everywhere you call, all they will do to Kingdom Come is cover for it. It is their job.
That's what it stated here, ma'am.
So it's fruitless. We can talk till tomorrow. The sun goes up, sun goes down, and all that is their job. They are paid to cover for 10 years. You there, ma'am?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you're not following policy. I don't know what to do.
We are following policy here. I'm going to provide you when it comes to the number of the manufacturer of the devices that you have.
That's not a solution, ma'am. But nonetheless, you've done it for years, so this is fruitless to continue to talk to someone that I know is going to cover for crime.
You mentioned to read the ticket there. No trouble, network found.
But if I'm not getting my calls, ma'am, I have evidence I'm not getting my calls.
That's really on the manufacturer is what I am already trying to explain here.
For two different devices?
The next thing that we need to do here.
For two different devices, ma'am.
I will provide you the manufacturer of each and different devices here, ma'am.
So you think that two different devices not working at the same time is not hacking, but indeed the both devices are
It's not on
malfunctioning
the
at the same
network
time?
because again, you mentioned to read out the ticket, and
I'm
I
just
just read
trying to
out
get
the
clarity,
ticket.
ma'am. You're making this very difficult because I'm asking questions and you repeatedly
I'm
try
not
to
making it
cover.
very difficult. All you need to do here is just contact the manufacturer
I'm
of the
asking a
devices to
question,
double
ma'am,
check
and you're
what is
not
the
letting
next
me
step
answer
for
the
this one.
question, ma'am. I'm not quite sure why you guys lash out when my abuser's mad. Why would people that I'm calling on my phone try to be psychologically abusive when my abuser's
That's
mad?
the reason why we want you to contact the manufacturer of the device itself so we can
You,
investigate
ma'am, are
what's going
not.
on
You're the
because
one
the
not
ticket
following
has already been
policy.
filed on this one.
So once again, ma'am, so if two devices are malfunctioning at the same time,
I understand, and we will be providing you the manufacturer in each of every
so
device
I'm
that
just
we have
getting
here.
clarity. So you think the manufacturer is the problem? Two different manufacturers for two different devices
Yes.
is why both
It's already
devices are
the device
malfunctioning
itself.
at the same time.
Yes, ma'am. I assure you
I
that.
guess
Because here in
if you're
Metro,
paid
want
to
to let
think
you know,
that way, I imagine
here
you
in
would.
Metro, there was no issue with your network itself.
How would they know that if they didn't connect to my device or call me?
There was a ticket filed, right? And you asked me to read you out the ticket.
They didn't connect
So
to my device. How would they know if they didn't connect to my device, ma'am? Ma'am, they didn't connect to my device, ma'am. How would they know? Are they psychic? How would they know if there was an issue or not? And why didn't they give me a ticket and let me know that there was an investigation?
There was a ticket here that has been filed.
When was the
already,
ticket
ma'am.
created, ma'am?
It's stated here. This was created, ma'am. The ticket number is 881.
I already have a ticket number. I want to know when it was created, ma'am. I'm trying to catch you guys in lies.
I'm sorry?
When was the ticket created?
This was created on the 18th, ma'am.
Okay, it was created on the 18th. One moment. Okay, when was it closed?
I'm sorry?
When was the ticket closed?
22. So
Okay.
18 it was filed, then 22 it was closed.
Okay, so how did technical support not connect to my device and come to the conclusion my network was working perfectly fine?
They were able to double check your network. They check your network. Basically,
how? And they didn't connect to the device.
Do a call to you. But as I mentioned, it says no.
I'm not able to speak, ma'am. Each time that I try to get clarity on what happened, you won't let me talk.
About this one here, ma'am, multiple times.
Okay, so that's not how it works. Typically, they connect with your phone and then ask you questions. But you're saying that they did an investigation without my knowledge that it was ever happening and didn't give me a ticket? Ma'am.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
I guess it just has to come a point in time. I just don't know how many patterns will equal an arrest.
You'd be able to contact the manufacturer of the device itself, ma'am.
Okay, what was your name?
My name is Daniel.
Your name is what?
My name is Daniel.
Okay, and what do you have an employee ID?
It's 311122.
Okay. Okay, it is fruitless to continue this conversation with someone that is quite obvious is trying to cover for crimes, as you guys have been doing years. So I need to call my manufacturer of my device to get a refund for the services I can barely use.
That's basically, ma'am, I was able to clarify that this is not an issue with the services here. So there's
ma'am, I'm not being heard. I don't want the device. I can barely use it. It's fruitless. So are you telling me I need to call the manufacturer to get a refund for services I can't use?
If you don't want the device, we can proceed with terminating the device, but you won't be able to get any kind of refund here. If it's about the refund.
So since I've been targeted, I repeatedly get defrauded out of funds. Customer service is so poor.
If you want to.
Okay, so if I terminate it, you won't credit me back for. Okay, well, this is what's happened years. So when does my service end? What's my service end date?
On the 3rd. Oh no! I'm sorry. Your due date would end on the 19th.
Okay. Okay, well, this is how I've been treated. No, I don't get a credit for anything. If the police department comes, removes me from hotel rooms, and I still have a day left, weeks left, I don't get refunded for that until I do uploads. Repeatedly defrauded out of funds. That's how I'm treated, ma'am. I don't think it'll. It's not the first and won't be the last until I get law enforcement. Okay, thank you.
Sa documentation, you have a good day, ma'am.
You too. No, I just when I would like to do a report. Why don't I have service? Okay, so I don't know if you heard it. It's glitching and won't. The sound is really low. She's saying that last time we were able to change out the SIM card, this time we weren't able to change out the SIM card, and she just doesn't want to go. So there, I don't have service, and I'm in a domestic violence crisis. When I activated my phone, I said my abuser repeatedly hacks my device, and will you protect me over him hacking my device? And they had evidence because they my service would keep going off, and this would go off in the crisis situations. My devices would format everything off my device, and when I'm trying to call in emergency situations when I'm being threatened, it would repeatedly go off, format, things would download on their own, all kind of different mysterious things. 911 hung up to cover for crimes when someone threatening me in the background, all kind of other criminal activity. 911 would repeatedly hang up, so it was forced me to record my calls. So nonetheless, this is what it is. It's frustrating that you could be repeatedly treated. It's just fruitless. I mean, it is what it is until you get caught.